Hey guys, how's everybody doing? It's May the 1st, and I feel a lot better than I felt, yet the last week. So I guess a lot of the releasing has been purged out. Um, because when you let go, when you're really releasing suppressed energy and feelings and emotions that pretty much dictate the future in a sense of decisions and actions that you end up taking in connections to people, places, and things, it allows you to start a reset, a new beginning on how you're going to deal with, assert yourself, and move forward in certain things with people, places, and things. Okay. I just want to release one more thing out into the public, and that is over 10 years ago, I still had this heavy tattoos all over my arms, okay? Not on my hands, but on my arms, on my neck, all this. I had heavy two sleeves, full sleeves. Over 10 years ago, I had it. And I remember my mom, my brother, and I were invited to my uncle Gaz's house. This was just before I found out. This was before I was sexually like, my mom's friend tried to sexually come on to me, and before the whole event where he told me he was raped by his cousin. Okay. So we went to his house, and he was newly getting divorced from his wife. Okay. The mother of his children. And his friend Arman, or Arman, I think his name is Arman, was there. I think I had just met him. And he had a wife, but he was never with his wife. Okay. His wife was never ever around. And they would claim that they have two separate lives and they live two separate lives or whatever. And I remember my brother just starts going off, and they're just having conversation about how Armenians should be and should not be. Mind you, his wife came from Yerevan and she wasn't a virgin. So my brother portrays himself as like this very, Armenian. He's born and raised in Canada, very horrible in people skills, does not respect anyone, let alone himself, has too many enemies because he doesn't know how to like make people, earn his respect. And he's just a fraud, a fake person in general, okay? And it would be very obvious that there's something up there wrong with him when you just sit there and talk to him, okay? He just starts going off, and he's like, oh, he's telling my uncle and Arman in front of me, not even coming to me, never even talking to me about it, discussing with anger and resentment on how women or people in general that have tattoos, heavy tattoos, it means that they're a whore. And when they leave the house, they prostitute themselves. So he's passionately talking about this. And he's never once ever even told me that's what he thought about my tattoos. So he wasn't directly saying it to me, but he was saying it as like third party. But my uncle and Arman, the way they're looking at me, and my mom's not saying a thing, she's agreeing with him. They're making it look like they're making it look like I'm like a horrifying disgrace to the family because I have tattoos on my body because I prostitute myself. That's what they were making it look like to these people. Okay? And the way Arman was staring at me was incredibly like off. Okay? And what am I supposed to do? Make a scene when no one's even saying anything? Argue with my brother who has a sick fascination for many, many years of physically attacking me and hitting me on a regular basis? Listen to this. That summer, we ended up going to the Armenian community. There was a festival happening. That was the very last time I ever went. My cousin Natalie ended up showing up for once, and her sister. Okay, we go. I had a braid like this in my hair. Okay, my hair was braided exactly like this, and it was red. So I sit there. Arman is there with my uncle Gaz, and Natalie comes, and he says, my uncle said, let me get you guys a drink. You guys are, sit down, and we'll wait for the rest of them to come. Let's sit down and have a drink together, all four of us. Okay, so we're sitting on the picnic bench at the event thing, right? And we're waiting for food to come. We're waiting for the other family members to come or whatever. Not all the family members were there. This was literally after my dad died, Natalie's dad died. It wasn't literally after. It was like years later, but Natalie's dad had just died like a year or two prior. Okay, so Natalie's dad died after my dad died. Okay, but Natalie's dad died like a few years after. Okay, so we're sitting there, and out of nowhere, Arman starts attacking me. I don't even know this guy. He's attacking me verbally, saying, "Your tattoos are fine, but what the fuck is with your hair? You look like fucking Pippi Longstocking." And he's just making a scene. He was drunk out of his ass. And Gaz goes, "What the hell's wrong with you, man? Lay it off." And he's like, "What's your problem? What's wrong with her hair?" He's like, "I don't fucking like it. I'm not sitting in front of her." So obviously he got triggered. It's not necessarily my hair. He got triggered because of what my brother said. So God knows he's actually thinking I go and I prostitute myself. And the fact I'm sitting there having an alcoholic drink with my cousin and my uncle. Do you get what I mean? The one that got raped. There's a lot of family fucked upness going on here. And this was before I found out he got raped. I found out maybe 3 or 4 months after, but the same year. Okay? And my uncle has a big mouth. He tells everybody everything. But my family in particular, like my parents, they're very secretive. Okay? And they just cover shit up. So in the meantime, my brother-in-law and my sister, and they had Sasun, my nephew at that time. He was very young. They showed up, and my brother, the thing about my brother is he thinks he has dominance over people and he has the right to do things. He's a bully, okay? So Sasun was passing by my brother, and all of a sudden my brother grabbed him by the head, and James, my brother-in-law, lost his fucking shit and made a scene in front of everyone screaming, "Don't you dare fucking touch my son," and he punched my brother. Everyone at the Armenian event is staring at us. My mom is like, "This is an embarrassment. We're never going to show up at the Armenian community ever again. Our name is ruined." You know, the same thing as my mom. All she cares about is her reputation, okay? "Oh, they're going to see our family. All they do is beat each other. All they do is hit each other." And I'm like, yeah, because you're just confirming it to the public that everything that you guys have done to me, it's all there in the public now. And then my sister gets a glass of like alcohol and throws it on her husband because a huge scene is going on. All of a sudden you see Arman get up off his seat and fucking bolt and run away so quick. He never returned back. He took the car and he left. Gaz is calling my uncle. Gaz is calling Arman, "Where are you? Why did you leave?" He's not answering the phone. To sum it up, James is like, "Don't you dare touch my son. You're always touching my son." So my mom's like, "Now everyone's going to think my son is a predator." But so listen. So then we ended up, months later, I found out that Arman just doesn't want to associate with my family anymore. So he got triggered because he was given false information. And then he probably realized my family is sick. Okay? So... and making false accusations. And when James was there, he probably got freaked out that maybe James is going to attack him too. You know what I'm saying? So, because he was trying to attack me verbally earlier about my hair. So, I want to just close the chapter on this whole family destruction and the lack of intelligence that my uncles and aunts and cousins and my immediate family members from my brother and my sister and my upbringing, it's a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of emotional intelligence. It's a lack of courage and bravery and self-security that you cannot, as an adult, as a parent. I implemented love and security and development in my own nephews and nieces, my brother's kids. I didn't have to do that. My brother never did it for me. But I felt so horrible for those children that the way my brother's mentality is, that till this day, he cannot do anything anymore for those kids, against those kids, to raise them in a very rigid mentality, especially not these days and age. And the fact that his daughter is a lot like me, not just because I instilled love into her, not because I would sit there and I would train her brain to develop, not because only that I would take her out. We would go walking together. We would go to the forest together. We would go hunting together. We would play together because her own parents weren't doing it. I didn't receive that growing up. I didn't receive it from my parents. I didn't receive it from my brother and sister. I didn't receive it from anyone. But I didn't have to do it, but I saw myself through these kids, and I wanted the best for those kids. I wanted him to realize. And when I called that children's association, I think that was his biggest wake up call, that he can't run this shit with his kids the way he tried it, you know? So I'm going to end this video with it's a 10 minutes into it as a continuation of the Scorpio lunar eclipse that's taking place. And that new beginnings are coming here, new beginnings. And moving forward, when it comes to clients, when it comes to friends, when it comes to associates, when it comes to people I associate with on a regular basis, on a business level, I'm only going to associate with people who want to do better and be better. Our pasts, I don't judge people based off that. I don't judge that. We all have a past. Sometimes our upbringing wasn't it was out of our control. But this day and age, now, moving forward, you're in control of your life, right? Hopefully. You make certain decisions. If you're not caged up in a basement and you have to, you make certain decisions to be a better person. Those are the only type of people I associate with now. Otherwise, I'm not going to sit there and gossip with you. I'm not going to talk shit about other people. I'm not engaging in any of that shit. I'm not engaging in negativity like that. So I don't even care if you have $1,000 to pay me. I'm not entertaining an ongoing basis of you putting other people down. When you're basically telling me, when I watch a person verbally, emotionally, physically abuse someone, it means you have a low fucking self-esteem. And the moment is for you to work on that. I'm here to help you work on certain things. Okay? So it's a 12-minute video now. Let's just end this reading with a happy May. And I just want the best for everyone. I want the best for myself. And life starts with you and it ends with you, okay? So take care. Have a great day. Bye now.